Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute warmly welcomes you to a world-class educational campus that showcases excellent infrastructure facilities, housing various departments in diverse fields of study. Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute warmly welcomes you to a world-class educational campus that showcases excellent infrastructure facilities, housing various departments in diverse fields of study.
Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute, Madurai, Chennai. Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute, Madurai, Chennai.
Counseling Center Epidemiologist, Faculty of Allied Health Science Department. On behalf of Dr. MGR University, I thank you all for joining today's webinar on the topic stress management during COVID-19. So now I request our beloved principal, Dr. Kalpana Devi ma'am, to give the welcome address. Ma'am, over to you.
Good evening, one and all. On behalf of the Faculty of Material Sciences, I take this opportunity in welcoming you all for this webinar on the topic stress management during COVID-19, which is the need of the heart. I consider it as a great honor to welcome all the participants. First and foremost, I will take this as an opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to our Vice Chancellor, Dr. A.C. Shanmugam sir, our Honorable President, Engineer A.C. Arun Kumar sir, who have been the guiding force for all our activities, and our Honorable Secretary, A. Ravi Kumar sir, who provides some constant support in all our efforts. I also extend my gratitude to our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Geeta Lakshmi ma'am, and our Registrar, Dr. Paridmil sir. It's my honor to welcome our Medical Director, Dr. Shahnawaz Khan sir, who motivates us in all our activities. And now I take this as an opportunity to express my hearty welcome to the Chief Guest Speaker of the day, Dr. Usha Rani, PhD in Psychology from Women's Christian College, who has consulted for this webinar. I also extend my warm welcome to all the faculty members and students. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That was a warm welcome. Now I take immense pleasure in introducing our speaker for today and my most beloved mentor, Dr. S. Usharani ma'am. She has completed her PhD in psychology with specialization in victim psychology from University of Madras. She is a recipient of DPRD Research Fellowship. She has done PG Diploma in Victimology and Victim Assistance from Tokiba University, Japan. She has worked as lecturer in Department of Social Defenses such as Prison Department, Police Department, and Criminology Department. She has trained more than 1 lakh police personnel and public on crime prevention and stress management through the Tamil Nadu Police Department. She has over 3 decades of experience in training, counseling, research, and teaching. She is a founder trustee of International Foundation for Crime Prevention and Victim Care, ECDC. She has received International Award for Best Academia in Victimology from Edinburgh University, Pennsylvania, USA. She has been working as Assistant Professor in Psychology Department in Women's Christian College, Chennai for the past 9 years. So we have like a lot more to talk about her. She is also a master practitioner in neurolinguistic programming and also a therapeutic supervisor for cognitive behavior therapy. She is certified as a supervisor for counseling by the Australian Counselling Association, following the RISE UP model, and last but not least, she is in the EC of Indian Academy of Professional Supervisors. So before we start today's webinar, I have few announcements to make. Today's webinar will be streaming live in our Allied Health Science YouTube channel. And my dear participants, please kindly note that if you have any questions to ask during the session, kindly have them in your chat box. Dr. Usharani ma'am will be answering to your question after her presentation. So without any further delay, let us start today's webinar. Usharani ma'am, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Kavya. I take this opportunity to thank Dr. Kalpana Devi, Principal, Dr. Bhavani Pratap, Vice Principal, Dr. Lakshman Raj Raja, Kavya Kritika, and Gitanjali, who are my beloved students, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to be with you all. It's been a great honor to address such a learner gathering. Okay, so like as you all are aware, all of us undergo stress at present, isn't it? Like we have been taking things for granted till March. We were going out whenever we wanted to. We were entering home whenever we wanted, like middle of the night, or whenever we felt like going out. Also, we were just going, and we even though we had stress then, but we knew we had a lot of opportunities to overcome stress by visiting a mall or going for a movie or enjoying with friends, visiting friends, family members. Like this, so we had so many opportunities to go out of the house and search for things. Okay, but after March, there's been a total change in our lifestyle, this new lifestyle which we are taking up. The problem is like this new lifestyle has taught us many lessons, and moreover stress level is also high because our movements have been restricted. It is the main thing. We have people like us who have been wandering, who have been going out every day, almost every day. We are stuck in one place looking at the same person and again. So these things are really stressful. And moreover, the problem of the virus, like we do not know how whether it will contract us, and we may fall a prey to it, and so many things. So then we hear news every day, and TV channels and social media, everything is talking about COVID-19 virus and things like that. So this sometimes I always tell my family members, it's like watching TV cinema documentary, like so many people are affected like this. But when we come to know that our own family members have been affected, our own kith and kin have been affected, then that gives a lot of mental pressure in us. Like we do not know how to overcome. Now we are able to realize the freedom we had before March. Before March 25th, we had so much of freedom to go out and come. Now even to when venture out of your house, you need to wear a mask, and then you have to maintain a social distance. As soon as you come back also, you need to wash your hands, you need to take a bath, and so many things, So the whole lifestyle has changed. So this definitely, we need to know the management, how to manage the stress, and also how to cope up with it, So my presentation would be on as soon as a person has been diagnosed, or fear of being diagnosed, what are the things a person has to manage and has to understand. Okay, so I'll make my presentation as short as possible so that we can have a lot of discussions. Next slide, please. First, we need to understand what is stress. Stress is a feeling of stress, strain, and then pressure. Yeah, all of you know it's a pressure we are undergoing now. Okay, like initially when they said March to April 14th or so, this lockdown is going to be. So we were just counting days only till 14th. So then after that we will be free. Then after that, when they started extending the lockdown, we were just okay till May. Things were okay. We thought okay, anyway it's going to end. But now it is August. So as days go by, with this kind of stress that is built, when will this get over? When will we get back to our routine? So there's a feeling of strain in us, and small amounts of stress may be desired, beneficial, and even healthy. Yeah, all of you understand that. See, like small amounts of stress, the fear of being infected is really necessary. Little amount is really necessary. Otherwise, we will not be bothered. We will not wash our hands. We will not wear a mask. That we not only we will be a danger to others also. This, and then positive stress helps improve performance in your profession. Say for example, for today's program, I understand that Kavya and Geetanjali have been working for the past 15 or 20 days, making all arrangements, and they're calling for registrations. So if only they have the little stress, the positive stress in them, they will be able to work well ahead of it. Be prepared for the occasion to come. It also plays a factor in motivation, adaptation, and reaction to the environment. Yeah, that's true. Excessive amount of stress, however, may lead to bodily harm. Yeah, so anything has to be to some extent only. But if the stress is going to be too much, then it leads to bodily harm. Next slide, please. Yeah. So now we will see about how we will have to recognize the stress reactions. Stress reactions can be categorized into 3 categories. One is physical, the next is cognitive, and the other one is emotional. See, physical stress is when you have too much of work to do. Okay, you're stressed. Your body pains. You do not know how to. Fatigue is sets in. And cognitive reactions are you overthink about certain things, or you don't think at all. Your thinking pattern gets disturbed. And emotional stress, when you are really frustrated, how is it you behave? You get angry, you get aggressive. So these are emotional ways of expressing the stress. Next slide, please. Okay. Stress due to COVID may cause the following. Yeah, fear and worry about our own health. Yeah, first, when there is a small symptom also, when you start coughing for the first time or second time, all along coughing is something which is natural. Everybody has been having this cough and fever and all these things. But during this period, we see to that we don't cough, we don't get fever or infections, because we have the fear of and worry about our own health, whether our health will be fine or whether we are going to catch up this infection. Okay, and health of our loved ones. This again, like if anything for us also we can manage, but if it is a problem for our loved ones, our family members, our kith and kin, our spouses, our children, whatever it is, like we get stressed out more. Okay, your financial situation or job. This is again another problem due to this lockdown. It is not only the infection that has created a lot of stress in individuals, but also the financial situations. Some of them have lost their jobs, some of them are not able to take up new jobs, or some of them, whatever amount they were getting, they were paying off their loans and monthly installments, but now they are not able to pay the monthly installments also. So this financial situation leads them to have a lot of stress in them. Like, say for example, these auto drivers, daily wages, people who are working in the building thing, or like daily wages people who have really lost their jobs and who do not know what to cope up with the financial situation. Loss of social support services to rely on. Yeah. See, like we are used to a comfortable life with maid servant, cook, and people who provide us all the daily necessities, all these things. But now, in this COVID, we see that we cannot take their help also, because we have been advised not to entertain any outsider entering our house. But we, in our culture, what is it we do? We always invite people to our houses for lunch or for dinner or for any other purpose, that we have a celebration. But for the past 4-5 months, no celebrations, no temples, nothing. Social support system is lost. Okay, changes in sleep or eating patterns. Yeah, see, like for students, if you take April and May, they know this is the time when they can relax. So they may not get up early in the morning, but they will get up for a lunch also at times. But now this is a constant thing that they actually do not know what is happening. So the sleep is also disturbed, eating pattern is also disturbed. They either overeat or they don't eat at all, or sleep also, they sleep very late or get up very late, or things like that. There's a lot of changes in their routine, difficult sleeping or concentrating. Yeah, see, like concentrating is affected because of the fear of the corona, worsening of chronic health problems. Yeah, see, like when it's natural that a person who's above 40 or 45 has certain physical problems like BP or sugar or cholesterol or whatever it is. But now this stress of COVID also adds to the agony. Like it's like adding fuel to fire. They start concentrating on the health more, and because the condition becomes worse. Okay, worsening of mental health conditions. Yeah, this is again another thing. Like as I already told you, we are unsure. We are not sure when the problem is going to get sorted out, when we'll get back to our routine. So this automatically sets a problem in our mental health. And some people have the problem of increased use of tobacco or alcohol or other substances. Next slide, please. Okay. Healthy ways to cope up with stresses. Understand the steps to be followed when you recognize symptoms of COVID. Yeah. Say for example, you have symptoms, small symptoms. Okay, you should accept that you have these symptoms. Some people try not to discuss about the symptoms to anybody, or the fear of being isolated from the society. Okay, when I talk to my friends or my relatives, they say, you know, my neighbor had was affected by corona. The way they say corona itself, the face is so, so it goes to different directions. And then they say this has been affected by corona. And the corporation people came in an ambulance and then they pulled her out, and they were not going near her also. And they said, get in. Because they're treating her as criminal or something like that. So these kind of things and all. There are so many things that we come across people saying, but then like we should accept that these are
One second, I'm
Just hold on for a minute. I guess ma'am by mistakenly left the group. One second. We will just add her again. Participants, kindly hold on. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So next
Continue,
slide,
ma'am.
please. Yeah. So we have to get educated on the support services and on resources that are available. Okay, understand the importance of counseling and therapy in person or through telehealth services. There are a lot of telehealth counseling, and even our college offers tele counseling. Okay, next slide, please. You have to take care of your emotional health. Okay, emotional health is very important because only when you think clearly you can react to the urgent needs, okay, of yourself or your family members. Okay, if you get panicked or if you get if you do not know how to react and what to do, that leads to a lot of other problems. Next slide, please. Okay. Take breaks from watching, reading, or listening to news stories, including those on social media. Hearing about the pandemic repeatedly can be upsetting. Yeah, here you should understand. When you listen to the TV news, first thing they say is so many have lost their lives, so many have been hospitalized, so many has been infected, and so many have recovered. This is the sequence that TV news is being read. But if it is going to be the contrary, it's going to be the other way, saying that so many have recovered, so many have been hospitalized, and so many have been infected, and so many died. If this is going to be the sequence, then that will give hope to the individuals that this is just like any other problem, and they could easily overcome it. Okay, and the social media is another thing which we are able to get news very soon. Okay, when, not only that, the messages we get in social media is putting us in stress many times. Okay, so we should take breaks from watching this news quite often. Some people they'll be watching news only all the time, so that has to be avoided. Next slide, please. Okay, take care of your body. Yeah, take deep breaths, stretch or meditate. Yeah. See, like breathing exercise is the best thing you can do for the time being, for the present, and stretch your body, legs, hands, and all. Just lie down with all with your hands and legs stretched, and meditate. Meditate for some time every day. Just spend at least 5 or 10 minutes in breathing exercise or meditation. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, try to eat healthy, well-balanced diet. See, like now youngsters, when I talk to them, you have lost weight, means they say, yes, ma'am, I stopped eating junk food. That's one good thing Corona has done. Okay, people have stopped eating junk food and they started having healthy food. Okay, so this is very important to overcome the stress. Next slide, please. Yeah, exercise regularly. See, you may be going for walks every day or cycling every day, but now that would have been curtailed due to this lockdown and things like that. But what you can do is you can spend some time at home. Exercise at your leisure. Just do simple exercises regularly. So to keep on to the routine. Next slide, please. Yeah, avoid excessive alcohol and drug use. So this again should be avoided. Next slide, please. Yeah, get plenty of sleep. Yeah, 8 hours of sleep is necessary. At least 6 to 8 hours of sleep is necessary. Okay, so try to sleep to that amount. Yeah, take time to unwind. Try to do some other activities you enjoy. Some of you might like to sing, some of you like to dance, some of you like to involve yourself in drawing or painting or whatever it is. Okay, this is the time for you to unwind whatever you have, whatever do all the activities which you really enjoy. Next slide, please. Yeah, talk to people who you trust about your concerns and how you are feeling. Yeah. See, this is very important. You have close friends. You can talk to your friends, say that whatever problems you have, and the concern they have will definitely make you feel better. Next slide, please. Yeah, connect with your community or faith-based organizations. While social distancing measures are in place, consider connecting online through social media or through by phone or mail. Here the thing is, like social distancing, we are not able to meet them in person, but then we have online thing. We have WhatsApp, Facebook, all these things. So you can talk to them, you can connect to them. It's only the mind that matters. Next slide, please. Yeah. So physical symptoms of stress is muscle tension or pain, stress pain, chest pain, stomach upset, dry mouth, clenched jaw, frequent colds and infections, sleep problems, insomnia, sleeplessness, fatigue, headache, muscle tension or pain. Yeah, this is one thing. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah. And mental symptoms are lack of concentration, memory lapses, difficulty in making decisions, confusion, disorientation, and panic attacks. Next slide. Yeah. Emotional symptoms of stress are disappointment with yourself, increased emotional reactions, more tearful or sensitive or aggressive, loneliness with withdrawal, loss of motivation and commitment and confidence, confusion, indecision, lack of concentration, poor memory, and depressive or negative thoughts. Next slide, please. Yeah, the stress management techniques include you can use all the 5 senses to manage your stress. See, the healthy way is to keep all your senses under your control, like taste, smell, see, hear, touch. All these senses have to be under your control. Okay, like you can use these senses to see something, visualize something which you like, so that you will not be able to concentrate on COVID. Next slide, please. Yeah. Stress management includes therapy, going to spa, exercise, hobby, meditation, yoga, nature, time management, and music. Next slide, please. Yeah. So when do you have to seek professional help? So when you have trouble with nervousness or anxiety, okay, you definitely need professional help. Next slide. When it is difficult to cope with change, yeah, now you understand that we are in the change the process is happening. So like we should be able to cope up with this change. Okay, so when you have difficulty in coping with change, definitely you need professional help, and follow the right pattern of sleep and eating habits. This also, when you have trouble in these problems, these things, definitely you need professional help. Next slide. Yeah, the problem here is we understand that there's a lot of problems in family relationships also, because we were used to a routine where we go over the morning and come back in the evening, and very little time we spend our family members, and that was quality time we were having at home. But now being at home, the all 24/7 leads to a lot of interpersonal conflicts and arguments and whatnot. Okay, so when now this is going to an extreme, then definitely you need to contact a professional. Next slide, please. Yeah, feeling unhappy due to the illness of a loved one. Yeah, see, like I already told you, when your own kith and kin have been affected, then you definitely become unhappy about the situation. Okay, so and when it becomes worse, definitely you need to contact a professional. Next slide, please. Yeah, so this is about stress management. So I'll give time for discussion. I welcome questions.
Yes, so thank you, ma'am, for your enlightening session on stress management during COVID-19. Now I request Ms. Geetanjali, Faculty of Allied Health Science, to take over the question and answer session. Thank you.
Good evening all, good evening ma'am. There are some questions raised by our participants. The first question is, what is the meaning of memory lapses?
Memory lapses.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. See, the thing is, we have to live in our present. Okay. When we think of old memories, if we are able to take good memories into account, definitely we'll be able to have a happy life. Okay. But what happens is, most of the time, we always think of the problems we faced in the past. Okay. So that may lead to stress. Recalling the old memories, which has really been stressful. And now there's a lot of time left for us. So we'll try to recall all the bad things that has happened to us. That has to be concentrated on.
So moving on to the next question, ma'am. So the next question is, why should we avoid self-treatment when we are stressed, but someone tell stress is just a normal mental issue?
Yeah. See, stress is normal when it is under control. When it becomes abnormal, only all the problems rise. See, like for example, when you have stress only, we will be able to understand the severity of the problem. Okay, you'll take precautions. But at the same time, if you're all the time going to be thinking of what is going to happen, then automatically your mental health will be affected. So positive stress is needed, but at the same time, if it has become over stress, then the problems arise. What is the next question you asked, Geetanjali?
Yes, ma'am. This person is not getting proper sleep, and how to improve sleep?
Yeah. See, for improving your sleep, there are certain techniques used in psychology. Okay, like we can do meditation, or there are the certain other things like cognitive behavior therapy. So they have to take up something like this, or attend a counseling session, where the process, they have to understand the process in which they have to take up to overcome the problem of sleeplessness. Okay, sleeplessness may be due to many reasons. One may be physiological reasons. Another thing may be the psychological problems the person is facing, or overwork the person is having. So all these things, like once they are able to meet a psychologist, definitely they'll be able to understand the problem of sleeplessness and try to overcome it. So recently also I had a client, who was above 75 years. She was complaining about sleeplessness. Then when speaking to her, I understood that both her daughters are in US and she is alone here. Now you can understand the reason for sleeplessness. She is alone here, both the daughters are there, and she is always thinking of the daughters. So then we had to do we had to teach her some techniques. And now after 2 or 3 sessions, she feels that she's much better. She's able to sleep. I think I answered your question.
Yes, ma'am. So the next question is, I wish to clear it out that during casual days, regular activities are going on without bothering. But during lockdown days, we are thinking what to do, this or that. Is this stress or mind-seeking activities, ma'am?
What this? I didn't follow the question. Last sentence.
Last sentence is, this or that, before or after, what are we supposed to do in stress, or is this stress or it is a mind-seeking activity, ma'am?
Yeah. See, like we have been taking things for granted. Before, when we were given freedom to walk, to do whatever we want. So that time, everything was taken for granted. We thought life is going to be like this only. We didn't bother about anything. But now lockdown has constrained our activities. So this is an anxiety, and like there's a block in the mind also, like a lot of problems we think of, So that may be one of the reasons for the person to have this mind block.
So the next question, ma'am. All faculties are stressed due to online classes, family commitments, webinars, FDP, NPTEL, and so many more. How to cope up with this situation?
Yeah. See, this is something where Dr. Sarah is also here. She also with me. Into this lockdown and all, it was a regular routine. You know, we had to go to college, and only college was our concentration. Okay, we were taking classes and involving only in college activities. But now, what has happened is, like, since we are at home, we have to take care of the family members also. Okay, and we have to play the role of a cook, we have to play the role of a maid servant, and above it, you know, like we have to consider all the college activities, staying at home. That there's no time bound at all here. We have meetings at any time, evening, night, or whatever time, because it's only a virtual meeting. So this definitely has a lot of stress. Faculty members have stress, but once we get back to our routine, this will change. But we should understand that, okay, this is a time where we have a lot of time to serve. We can, if we are able to concentrate on the gratitude, on the good things that has also happened during this COVID period, we'll be able to overcome this. See, it's many people have lost their lives. Many people have lost their jobs. Many people are not financially sound. So all these things we see, God has given us all these facilities. Okay, so we should be grateful. Gratitude is one thing which will definitely help us to overcome the stress. Okay, at least I have a job. At least I'm able to take care of myself. You know, at least I have the facility. So we are able to concentrate on the positive things we have been enjoying. We are getting during this COVID. Definitely, you will be able to understand that what are pressures we have. Yeah, as Sarah ma'am rightly said in the chat, she enjoys online classes. Yeah, even I too enjoy, because I feel that students are concentrating more on online classes than on classes, because there's no chance for them to meet each other and talk to each other.
Ma'am, once again, Moni, can you please stop sharing your screen? Yeah, thank you. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
So then,
Yeah.
yes,
Any more
ma'am. The next
questions?
question is, can you please elaborate on the types of stress disorders and especially when to approach a mental health professional?
Yeah, I already told you, like when you have symptoms of nervousness, anxiety, you feel depressed, or you feel lonely and you feel isolated. So all this, when it becomes excessive, you know, then it's better you approach a mental health professional. Okay, they will teach you the techniques on to overcome this problems related to stress.
Okay, ma'am. The next question is, how to avoid anxiety?
Yeah, to avoid anxiety, you should concentrate on your self-talk. Okay, anxiety results because you keep thinking of something. Okay, before meeting somebody or before attending an interview, before addressing a crowd, all these times anxiety is more. And some people have all 24/7. They are anxious. What is going to happen like this? You know. So for this, they have to keep themselves calm. If they have to keep themselves calm, definitely they have to concentrate on the breathing. One thing they can do is every 1 hour, for 1 minute, they can just concentrate on the breathing. Just breathe in and breathe out. Now also you guys can practice, just concentrate on your breathing for 1 minute. Just concentrate on the inhale and exhale part of your breathing. How do you feel?
Good, ma'am. We're actually feeling good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, if you're going to practice it from morning to evening, 1 hour, 1 minute. Okay, it's like a carpenter who sharpens his axe every now and then. He'll be able to do his work properly. So similarly here also, you're trying to overcome your stress that for 1 hour, for this by doing this exercise for 1 minute. So next 1 hour, you have to do for 1 minute, just 1 minute. This very simple exercise where you don't have to get anyone's permission, or you don't have to go and meet anybody, or you just have to do whatever you want, whatever work you're doing, you just have to concentrate on your breathing. That's all. Okay, this.
Can you please share your perspective about burn victims and amount of steps they go? Sorry, ma'am.
Victims. Okay. You want me to share my views on the burn victims? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And the amount of stress they go through.
Okay. Yeah. See, the thing is, domestic violence only we come across as burn victims. The problem here is the victims maybe either they would have set fire on themselves just to, or to say, just to keep the person under check. Just to keep the husband or whoever it is under check and say that, okay, see, I'm going to burn myself. To threaten them. But then, like when things become worse, they move to the hospital, and many of them lose their jobs and things. This is one thing. And some the other things is they are set fire by their family members or someone who are stoned to acid attacks like this. So mostly, if you see these victims are being victims of only known people, family members. It's not something new. A stranger does it. It's only the known person. So like social distancing, as what we are practicing now. Okay, like if you know that the person is an abuser, the person is going to do something, then keep away from the person. Okay, just have minimum talks, even if it is going to be an intimate relation. Avoid, just have minimum talks and just keep your distance, so that by the time he comes, of the time the mother-in-law or whoever comes close to you, you can run away. Have space to run. Okay, so these are the things that definitely a burn victim has to follow. Like the stress she undergoes is definitely worse. Okay, she doesn't know how to cope up with this. So maybe the worst comes only she sits there herself. Okay.
Ma'am, so the next question is, can you please share us a case history you dealt with college students?
Yeah, college students?
Yes, ma'am, college students.
Is it your question?
No, ma'am.
Okay. See, like usually students don't approach for problems because only we have started this counseling centers. The thing is, like when students have any issues, we are always there to help them. Okay, we always have to help them. So like when they have problems in continuing their studies, or when they have problems in like any other thing, like financial issues, they definitely approach us. And then if it is possible for us, we definitely help them. Or sometimes we give them moral support. Okay. And I don't have any specific thing to say here.
Okay.
And it's not ethical also for me to share anyone's personal issues over here.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Ma'am, so the next question is, as a psychologist, how can we avoid suicide in our state?
Suicide?
Yes, ma'am.
Suicide of others?
Yes, ma'am. Suicide of others. How to handle that?
Yeah. Yeah, see, like here I would like to quote a case study. I was having my training in Tanjavur, and during the session, I received a call from a boy who was, it was during January, and this boy was going to appear for his +2 exams. Okay, and this guy said, I have a knife in my hand. I'm going to commit suicide now. And I am in Tanjore, and this boy is from Chennai. I didn't know what to do. I started pacing him. I started talking to him. I asked him, what is it? What is your problem? Then he said, my parents are not giving, my mother is not giving me money. Then what for do you need money? I need money to be with my friends. But then my mother is not giving me money. Whatever money my father sends, I have asked your father. My father is in Middle East. He sends money, and my mother and my sister are using the money. They are not giving me any money, and I'm really frustrated because my friends are not able to spend money for my friends. So, and this frustration, I really thought I have to commit suicide, and now it's time, and I have a knife in my hand, and next after I keep the phone, I'm going to. Then I told him, okay, Baba, just wait for 5 minutes. Please send your father's number. Okay, I'll talk to your father, and then I'll get back to you. I will see what best I can do. Then he gave me his father's number. So that the act was postponed. Okay, the thing is, like, it's the spur of the moment. So for at the time he was saved. Then I spoke to his father. And his father said, I'm suffering over here. Like, it's not that I'm having a jolly life. You know, I'm suffering for the family. I'm doing so much of sacrifice for the family. And these people are having their lovely time. How did my son get to know your number? Maybe he's caught with the police. And that's why he's got your number and all. Then I said, no, it's not that way. So he's really frustrated. Please talk to him and give him some confidence. That's all. Then he said, okay. Then after 10 minutes, the guy again called up. He said, okay, my father's asked me to go back home now. I'm going home. But will my mother give me money? Will my mother keep me in, treat me properly? I said, definitely your mother will treat you properly. Please finish your +2 and do well. Okay? So don't ever commit this kind of blunders again. So this took me nearly half a day. You know, from afternoon to evening, whenever the session was going on, myself and my friend are presenting. So when my friend was presenting, I used to see the phone and there were so many messages. Ma'am, there's no call from you. So what do I do? Can I commit suicide now? So this is was a really challenging thing, but I'm happy that I saved the boy that day.
Yes, ma'am. So the next question is, how to overcome the unknown fear which comes before sleep?
Yeah. See, many times, you know, like before going to sleep or in your sleep, you have a feeling that you're falling off your cot or you're falling from a mountain. These kind of disturbances might happen. That is to do with your day-to-day routine only. Okay, in your routine, if you see, you would have had some frustrating incident a day, and that would have been replicated in your dream or before going to sleep only. Your mind is calm. Okay, when your mind is calm, you think of certain things. Okay, you would have you watching horror movies or listening to horror stories or listening to the crime stories. All these things will make you have an unknown fear. So it should avoid, start listening to music, or start concentrating on good things that is around you. Start to try to admire the nature that is around you. Try to appreciate beauty that is around you. Okay, talk to your friends, relatives, you know, on good things. Share your experiences on the positive things, on your adventures, all these things. You know, that will really give you good memory. Now, when you start having good memories, then definitely you can overcome this unknown fear.
Yes, ma'am. So the next question is, ma'am, could you please also elaborate on how to manage stress for pregnant women during this pandemic?
Yeah. See, this is another thing, you know, like when a girl is pregnant, you know, and this pandemic period, they're not able to visit the doctor. That's one thing. And even if they visit the doctor, they're not able to take the proper tests, or the hospitals are also not encouraging patients. So many problems are there. So this gives a lot of stress. So the first is catching the infection. Next is to take care of herself. All these things. Okay. So she should develop power of positive thinking. Okay, to overcome stress, she should develop power of positive thinking. If she sets her thinking pattern properly, okay, like fine, God has blessed me with a child, so it's my responsibility to rear the child right from the womb. Okay, so I'm going to teach the child good value system right from the womb. So all positive things, if you are able to talk to yourself, through which you are able to communicate to the child, definitely the stress part would be addressed. if you're always going to think of the TV news and the other problems that is arising, and people also come and tell you all negative things, so and so was infected and all these things, definitely you tend to have a lot of stress only. So one is power of positive thinking, and another thing is like concentrate on your self-talk. Okay, when you concentrate on self-talk, make it more positive, definitely you'll be able to overcome the stress during pregnancy.
Ma'am, so the next question is, can you brief out on child sexual abuse and the amount of stress they go through?
Yeah. See, the first thing is, in child sexual abuse, the child doesn't know that it is a sexual abuse itself. Okay, thinks that it's a natural thing someone is doing to it. But then after some days, only the child understands that something is wrong, and things. And here also, if you see, it's only the known persons who are involved in this child sexual abuse. Okay, who are able to who have access to the child only get involved in these kind of activities. Okay, the stress the child undergoes after she understands the intensity is very high. Okay, maybe during adolescence or then only she'll be able to understand that this has been a problem, unless or until she is able to talk it out to somebody at the child level itself. Okay, then and another thing is like a fear of telling it to our people. The fear of telling to parents, fear of telling to relatives. This may lead to other kind of stress. So instead of which the child cries in silence, that again leads to problems in future in life. Okay, so it's better we educate men also in not involving in these kind of activities, which is going to ruin a child's life.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. So reading out the next one. As we all know, but seldom acknowledge, stress isn't always a negative thing. Can you talk a little bit about eustress and the ways in which students can take advantage on that, ma'am?
You're not clear. My voice is not clear, Gitanjali.
Sorry, ma'am.
Your voice is not clear.
Can you please explain about eustress and the ways in which students can take advantage of that?
Yeah.
Eustress, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Here the students should understand that little bit of stress is necessary. Okay. Positive stress, which I already spoke to you about, where they need to understand before an examination. Definitely, they should understand that they're going for an examination. Okay. Without understanding that they have to go for an examination, that may lead to problems. Okay. They can take it casually. Some children are only trained that way. So, like children can make use of it in a very positive way by concentrating on their studies or whatever work they have to do in a positive way.
Okay, ma'am. So the next question, ma'am. During this lockdown, children are with mobile phones, and if we say anything immediately, they are depressed. Any solution, ma'am?
Yeah. See, like they should be given alternatives. So you get them a carom board or a chess board, teach them to play, like with their own family members, carom board or chess, which will really help them to improve. Okay, like what parents usually do is the child is constantly disturbing the mother or father in working. Definitely what they do is they give them a cell phone. They say, okay, you play with the cell phone. So, and afterwards they try to pull the cell phone. So like the thing is, once the child's need has been achieved by having the cell phone, then the child doesn't want to give it up. Okay, so like they become depressed. So instead of that, so like you can tell them, okay, every day I can give you for 1 hour. Now classes are also going online through mobile phone or through laptops only. So students should be taught how to utilize their time other than cell phones also. All these original traditional games, they should be taught.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So the next question, ma'am. In CMC, we started telecounseling for COVID-19 affected mothers. Could you please explain me on how to tackle the disadvantages of telecounseling, like it's not as same as face-to-face interaction, and how I look for the cues in the client?
Yeah. See here, in direct counseling, you look at the client eye to eye and speak to the client. Okay, whereas telecounseling, you're going to speak to the client only. So, like there are different methods in rapport building. Okay, in one-to-one counseling, rapport building is different, whereas in telecounseling, the rapport building is different. Here, the voice matters. In telecounseling, the voice matters. Okay, like the voice has to be soothing to the needs of the client. Okay, you cannot have a harsh voice when you're talking to a client, because the client calls because the client is desperate. So during that time, the counselor should be cordial to the client and try to understand what the problem of the client is. Okay, and try to make the client solve his or her own problems. Okay, there are advantages and disadvantages in telecounseling. Also, you're not able to get the cues, behavioral cues. That's fine, but then like your voice, from the voice you can make out. See, like before we didn't have this video calling and all. But still, we are able to recognize when you're talking to a mother or father over the phone. Oh, what is wrong with you? Your voice is different. Are you not able to get the cue? So it is going to be a near and dear one. You are able to understand the cue. Similarly, when the person is talking to you in desperation, you should be able to understand with the voice cues. Sometimes they may pause for certain words. When you talk about somebody, they may pause and then they may talk up, or they say, okay, I'll call you back later, or something like this. So these are the cues you try to get when you're talking to the client.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So the next question is, what is the scope of telecounseling for stress management in India?
What is it?
I repeat, ma'am, what is the scope of telecounseling for stress management in India?
See, in India only now we have started as telecounseling and all. Okay, this COVID only has given room for telecounseling. Before that, we were having this one-to-one counseling or group counseling only, face-to-face counseling. But definitely, yes, it will help you. Okay.
Okay, ma'am, that's all.
Okay, so over to thank you, Geetanjali. Yeah, thank you, Geetanjali. So now I request our beloved Vice Principal, Mrs. Bhavani ma'am, to give the vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Kavya. Good evening to our Honorable Management Committee, Chief Guest, friends, seniors, and everyone present here. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of those who worked really hard to make this webinar successful. On behalf of Faculty of Allied Health Sciences and the entire fraternity of the institution, I extend my most sincere thanks to Almighty for making today's event a great success. With His blessings and grace, we are able to make this event what it was. It's my gratitude and pleasure to thank our Honorable Chairman, Dr. A.C. Shanmugam Sir, President Engineer ACS Arun Kumar Sir, Secretary Thiru A. Ravikumar Sir, Vice Chancellor Dr. Geeta Lakshmi Madam, Registrar Dr. Paranivel Sir, and our Medical Director Dr. Shah Nawaz Khan Sir, Dean Dr. Pregna Dolia Madam, Medical Superintendent Dr. Parani Sir for their constant support and guidance in organizing this webinar in Faculty of Allied Health Sciences. I extend a really hearty vote of thanks to our Chief Guest Dr. S. Usharani Madam, who spared time from her busiest schedule to grace the occasion with a topic on stress management during COVID-19. Today, we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and you have enlightened our minds and have shown us a new path. Thank you, Madam. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our Principal, Dr. V. Kalpana Devi Madam, for her motivation and assistance in guiding us to organize this webinar. Today, my words are not enough to express my appreciation to all the staff members for their support, and special thanks to the technical team of Faculty of Allied Health Sciences. My special and sincere thanks to all the faculty members and students for their participation in this webinar from our home institution and other institutions. Once again, I thank you all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. So participants will be sending you feedback link in the chat box and even in the comment section, the YouTube channel. So kindly fill them to receive your e-certificates in your registered email ID. So on behalf of Allied Health Science Department, I thank Dr. S. Usharani ma'am for your informative and enlightening webinar on how to cope with stress during COVID-19, during this pandemic time. So I really appreciate the time you took for us being with us. I'm very sure it was a worthwhile learning experience for all of us. I'm also extending my gratitude to our beloved principal, Dr. Kalpana Devi ma'am, for providing constant support and encouragement. I would like to thank Dr. Lakshman Raj sir for providing technical support. Thank you, sir. And last but not least, I thank all the participants for joining us on today's webinar. So I hope you all learned it. So I guess it's time to wind up today's session. So thank you all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everybody, for giving me this opportunity, and thanks to the participants for making the session enlightening by your questions. Thank you.
So participants, kindly fill in your feedback form to receive your e-certificates. It's there in the chat box. So once you receive, once you fill in the feedback form, you can leave the webinar. Thank you.
Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute warmly welcomes you to a world-class educational campus that showcases excellent infrastructure facilities, housing various departments in diverse fields of study. Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute warmly welcomes you to a world-class educational campus that showcases excellent infrastructure facilities, housing various departments in diverse fields of study.
Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute, Madurai, Chennai. Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute, Madurai, Chennai.